Pod Chef. Pod Chef. You're listening to Pod Chef. When I say pod, y'all say chef. Pod Chef. You're listening to Pod Chef. That's a podcast about Top Chef, and that's a broadcast. It's on TV, and you can watch it. They got 22 seasons, that's a lot, kid. But you can skip those. We do recaps about the whole show, talking food, yo, and some other stuff. Yeah. You're now listening to Pod Chef, the official podcast of the TV show Top Chef, with your hosts, Jamal, Bryan, and Reaves. And I only said their first names because I don't know everyone's last names, and I'm trying to be polite. Now enjoy the show.
Ooh, that was fresh, wasn't it? Welcome to Pod Chef, the official Top Chef podcast. I'm your host. I'm always here. It's Jamal. What's up? Is my co-host Reaves here?
What's up, people? Did you hear that? It was different. It was different. Yeah. There was a couple of different parts to it, right?
Now, Easter eggs in there.
Little Easter eggs. I think I'm gonna have to listen to it, maybe 52 more times before I can hear all the pieces to it.
Oh yeah.
But that was great. I loved it.
Yeah.
How many podcasts change their theme song every single year to update just a number?
None. Really?
None. Come on.
Think about it. So it's these small little tweaks, These are the little, you're kind of looking at the podcast at a macro level. Am I saying that right? Yeah. And you're looking for places where you can make just 1% improvements.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Jeff Ray, who we have doing our podcast intro, is so good at this. I'm like, okay, I've made them a masterpiece on my first try. How do you improve on a masterpiece? You remaster it.
Yes. And, I'm sure people out there are thinking, oh, yeah, like every artist that remasters their classics just because they want more money, classic, greedy artists.
Yep.
Jeff does it not for the money, because we have none, but because he knows he can improve. Yeah. He can improve on what he already did, and he does it every single time. It's better every single time.
Is this the point where I say that I've paid Jeff every time? Out of my own podcast funds?
Oh, my God.
Is this the part where I say that?
Thank you for
Bryan won't hear this part, so because we know Bryan loves sending a Venmo. But,
yeah, I wonder if I can find that text.
Yeah. But it's not life-changing money, but it is enough money to get someone to record a new, just for the hassle of, hey, can you update this? Because there's a new, Tom Colicchio and Gail and Kish are making a new season. So it sounds weird if we say 21 now.
Yeah.
And so, $500 is enough to get someone to do it.
I mean, that's going to buy you a lot of mangoes.
Oh, yeah.
I understand. I mean, art's not free.
Nope.
I think that's what they pay Taylor when she redoes all her
Taylor
albums.
Swift?
Yeah.
Probably.
She
call her
gets
Taylor.
$500. Yeah.
Huh.
Hey, so I just wanted to check in with you and just,
what's up? Is Bryan here?
Oh, you know what? Let me check in. Say hello to the people, Brad. Okay, I guess he's not here.
Yeah, because he usually would have chimed in by now, kind of like taking us on a tangent about something he wanted to shoehorn in, and we haven't had that. So I don't think he's here. So all right.
He's not here. Rest in peace. Get better soon. But, in this, climate we're in right now, I think it's very important that we check in with people.
Let's check in.
Check in with our friends. Check in with our family members. Check in with, bus drivers. Hold up the bus, big line behind you. Ask them how they're doing. No, really, how are you doing?
How are you doing? Dog, how are you doing? Are you asking me that?
And so I will ask you, Jamal, how are you doing?
Yes. thank you for asking. I'm tired. I'm jet lagged. I have a cold. I'm feeling under the weather. I thought I was on the other side of it. And I think it's the South shall rise again. This feels like it's got a second wind. I've tested twice. It's not COVID, so it's one of the old age germs. But yeah, so could you hear it? Is that why?
I could hear it.
Yeah.
Let me, if you need wine.
Yeah, let me just take a tissue.
Just take a tissue. And is this pleasing for people to listen to?
I don't know if they can hear it. I can barely hear it.
Okay.
But here's the thing about my sickness is that back in October of 2024,
can you remember?
Yeah, can you remember that time? It's right before the election. In October 2024, I made the assumption that Jamal of the future on April 1st would be healthy, of sound mind and body, and able to go to a Tyler the Creator concert at Capital One Arena. And Jamal of the past paid a pretty penny. Almost as much as almost as much as I paid Jeffrey to update the song.
That sounds about right.
To go to attend. So this was a future gift from past Jamal. And now present Jamal is ruining their connection.
That's hard because one of the best relationships you have is with your past, present, and future self.
Yeah. And we're usually aligned.
Mm.
We're usually on the ball and everything. And I just feel like past me did their job. Future me had planned to do their job. And present me is fucking up.
Yeah.
Fucking up.
And when you are misaligned in your different timelines of self, it can really throw you out of balance. And it can really make those other pieces angry. Like for me, it's like I always know that I am going to work every hour of every day until I am in, I don't know, my early 50s. And then I'll walk out into the ocean and that'll be the end of it. And
you should have waited for
every
me to say,
piece
Reaves,
of me knows. What's that?
You should have waited for me to ask Reaves, how you doing?
Oh, okay.
Good thing for the check-in.
Should we pull back?
Yeah, let's pull back for a second.
Okay.
So that's what's going on with me, and I've said that. Hey, Reaves?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Well, first of all, thank you for asking. It takes a lot of courage to ask those kinds of questions of our friends.
Trying to be courageous. Thank you.
Because sometimes we want to just josh with our friends. We want to just have a good time. Everything's great.
I want to get real.
Feel like, yeah, actually, let's get real and let's be truthful about it. The truth is, I am sick. I had flu A back in February. Fans can listen and hear what I sound like and hear it. I now have what can only be described as flu B. Just kind of going. I'm a completionist. When I get into an artist that I like to listen to, I listen to every album chronologically. When I get a disease, I want to get every single part of the disease before I miss it. Because it's like there's a season and then you get a different one. And so I wanted to make sure I got every piece of the flu this year. And baby, I got all of them.
You got it.
That's what I'm doing. It's really great. It has not wavered my plans to walk into the ocean in my early 50s. So that's a good thing. Nor has it.
Good thing about the ocean is when you do walk into it, if you're not careful, it will just grab you and hold you.
Yes.
And just be like, let's cuddle. And it'll like pull you in.
That's my hope, because every time I've attempted this, because, it's a good idea to practice. And I practice about, 10, 15 times a year. The waves typically knock me down so hard that I lose consciousness, and then I'm usually like at shore again.
Yeah.
And sometimes in a completely different beach.
Yeah. And like you're probably like a crowd of people around when you wake up.
Yeah, a crowd of people around. I'm naked. They're asking questions.
Yeah, some old guy said, "I give mouth to mouth."
Yeah,
and he's naked
but he's
too.
like joking about it, and it's like it's clear he said it like 5 times. Like he thought I was waking up a couple of times, and he wanted to make sure I heard it, and so he said it. God bless you. He said it. My mom always taught me when someone were deceased, you say God bless you.
Thank you.
As my sous chef's upset. So yeah, that's what's kind of happening with me. I'm doing great. Everything in DC is great right now.
Perfect.
We're all doing really great here. Thank you, fans, for asking. So it's good. So you didn't end up going to that Tyler the Creator concert?
Well, it's tomorrow. As of recording this, it's tomorrow. So, future Jamal, this is another gift past Jamal is giving to future Jamal. Future Jamal will update past Jamal on what present Jamal decided to do tomorrow. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he'll go.
Okay. I feel confident too.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a good decision. You can go. Do you feel like you need to like maybe? I mean, you're not going to go masked up. That's ridiculous. But maybe bring like a pillow and a humidifier or something like that.
Well, it is a black artist, so I assume they will have a humidifier because we typically sleep with humidifiers. So I'm sure they'll have extras at the arena. When it comes to blankets, here's the thing: when you go to a black person's house to spend the night and you ask for a blanket, they're probably going to give you some blanket that's been living in that closet, that linen closet, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to give you what I do, which is I give you top of the line. You're getting owl fur. You're getting moose fur. You're getting some dead carcass is laying on top of you so you can stay warm through the night. And so when I go to public places, if it even looks like a blanket I could get on a United flight across the Atlantic, I say politely, no, thank you. I'll just take the humidity, please. So we're both sick, but we're both at work.
Yeah, putting in the work. Yes, it's important.
And the third Mike couldn't be here today.
No, scheduling.
And conflict. I think it's time we find out why. Because you and I are here, so why couldn't third Mike be here? So I'm going to get him on the phone here.
Okay, let's do that.
Get him on the phone and we'll ask him a question. First, I'll start with, how are you? So he can answer. And then we'll get into how come you're not here. Just remind us.
Well, yeah, I think how are you is the friendship start.
Yeah.
And then we get a real answer, and then we really dig into him. We're like, why couldn't you be here? God bless you.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
Hey, Bryan. This is Jamal, the host of the Pod Chef podcast. I'm calling because I remembered the password. So now I'm calling. I'm calling because I forgot why you couldn't be on the episode this week. So we were going to do a funny bit about it on the podcast, but I forgot what you had said as to why you couldn't be on the show this week. And so if you could give me a call back and just help us out so we can finish this bit, that'll be much appreciated. So talk to you later. That's kind of what happens whenever I call him anyways. It kind of goes to voicemail.
Yeah.
And if you call and he answers, what does that mean?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
Hey, Bryan. It's your co-host on the podcast, Reaves. I'm with Jamal here. Don't know if you got his message yet or not. But we wanted to check in with you because we just started the podcast and we wanted to remember why you couldn't be here. We thought the fans should know that. And then also we're doing this really cool thing where we're, not really joshing around as much. We're just being like straight friends and checking in on each other. So, I just wanted to check in and see, how are you? How are you really doing? Okay. Talk to you later. Hopefully you can call back into the podcast. I hope you enjoy whatever it is you're doing. And you're being safe. Okay. I love you. Bye.
Well, that made me feel good that he didn't answer. That could have been a massive change to the numbers on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't, and that's fine. And we'll find out what he was doing. And we'll finally get to ask him that question. How are you doing?
Yeah.
And finally get down to the bottom of it.
And that's a reason to listen to another episode. Not that anyone listens to this beginning part anyway.
Yeah.
We're trying to, drag this out so people come back and continue to listen.
Exactly. Speaking of dragging out, why don't we talk about let's go into the next segment, which is Chefs I Prepared for You. This is a segment where we do every week where we talk about what we had for dinner last night and only last night. We present it as if we're presenting it to the judges on Top Chef. There will be a winner because we will pick, because that's what we do now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm forgetting the rest because I've got sick brain.
Yeah, and people don't write in about the energy in this episode.
Yeah,
we told you already what's going on.
Yeah, that's what's happening. So don't write in and don't write future me and then complain about present me as if future me can then do a correction for it. Because by the time future me gets it, I'm going to let you know something. You're talking to present me again.
Yeah, exactly.
By the time future me actually gets that message, you're talking to present me. And by then, past me is not going to fucking care.
Yeah, exactly. So it's, time is a flat circle. Okay. I think I'm using that right.
Yeah. Okay, chefs I prepared for you. The fuck did I have last night? I was sick. What did I have last night? Oh, I didn't have dinner. Chefs, I fasted for you. I did not have dinner. I had medicine and a lot of water. I mean, got up multiple times during the night, just emptying the tank. A lot of water went into the old carburetor.
Okay, that dinner sounds sick as hell. What was the medicine that you had?
Mucinex cold and flu rapid release. What's up?
Can we talk about Mucinex real quick?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
I don't know when to use it. Like, I don't know when I should be taking it. I don't know when to use it. I don't know how effective it really would be.
Well, I find it to be a great wake up. 8 a.m. you start, because you got your 4 hours in between, right? Because that's when that's your dead zone. It's always fun when it's like, I set a timer every 4 hours. It goes off. I'm like, oh, it's Mucinex time. But it's that 4 hours in between where you got to figure out, what am I doing with my life right now? Right? So I give me my Mucinex. That gets me going. It's going to be rapidly releasing into my body. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it goes well if I'm having breakfast. So I got all this energy. I'm feeling good, right? Might be one of the reasons why I feel bad right now, because I'm like an hour away from my next dose, and so it's wearing off. But yeah, I think in the morning, like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then around lunchtime, and then another one in the evening, dinner or bedtime.
Hell yeah,
Yeah,
you know what? I don't fuck with Mucinex. I'm a Sudafed head.
I've got Sudafed too, but I don't know if it works for me as well as Mucinex.
And so this is interesting. People's bodies are different and they absorb medication differently. And we're not talking about this enough.
The big body lobby is trying to make it so that everyone just takes the same dose and the same medicine. and preaching that everyone's body's going to react the same way. That's not true.
Mm-mm.
NyQuil, Dayquil doesn't work for me. My
No.
body rejects the Vicks brand. Okay? I need Mucinex.
I've seen you drink an entire bottle of NyQuil
And then
at
drive.
like 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then drive 12 hours.
Yeah.
Wide
We
awake.
drove to an improv festival together after
Mhm.
doing that.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, oops, this was supposed to be Dayquil. And you were like, is that going to be a problem? I was like, nah, it doesn't affect me. It's a placebo, basically.
Yeah.
And I was awake the entire drive. So it was
Yeah.
fine.
You were awake. I mean, we did have to hold your head up and kind of tape your eyes and your arms, kind of Clockwork Orange style. So you
But
were,
I was upright.
but you were upright and you were
I was
functioning.
upright.
Yeah.
So yeah, my body doesn't like Vicks. And I don't know if that's a Michael Vick thing or not, but it loves a good you know what I like about Mucinex? They are like a very corporatized. I know they're all corporatized, but like the Mucinex bottle and like the slogan and the lettering, it feels very much like a computer program came up with it and designed it. It doesn't have like a human touch.
Yeah.
Like the NyQuil bottle has like curves to it that you're like, a human did this. But the Mucinex bottle is like a robot had to have made this.
Yeah.
From beginning to end.
And I'm glad that you didn't make any kind of like comment about like it was AI generated. I'm sick of people
Nope.
saying stuff like that. And then also that you acknowledge that. Were you saying that NyQuil has a very curvy body?
In the kindest way.
Okay,
I'm
maybe
not
it was just
trying
me
to. Yeah. And so, not to interrupt this, but Bryan did send us a message in the group chat about him sitting front row at a hockey game, and that's why he couldn't be here. Right behind the goalie. I still don't understand why he couldn't answer the phone. So that's weird because it's a hockey game. You're not in the game, so that's strange.
Maybe we can connect the dots between the episode we watched and the picture that he sent.
Yeah.
But we'll leave that to later. Chefs,
goodness.
I procured for you timber pizza.
Damn.
Ria. I had a slice.
Is it called pizzeria?
No, it's just pizza.
Okay. I don't
What
wanna
is the
get
difference
sued.
between pizza and a pizzeria?
I don't know, it's a pizza that's sold in a cafeteria, I think, is a pizzeria.
Sounds right to me. So we did a cheese pizza, and then we did a half and half.
Ooh.
The green monster.
Half black, half white.
Those are the cookies I get all the time.
Yeah.
Very
Racial
tasty.
harmony.
Yes. Well, I'm being an ally when I get those.
You only eat down the center when you get those, right? And then and then you go. You do that. You do that because you want to bring the races together.
Yeah.
You bite them, they separate, and then you keep bringing them together. You bite it again down the middle, bring them.
I just buy a whole bunch of black and white cookies and I just fold them over and kind of squish them together, and then I give them back to them. I'm like, now you can sell it for real.
Now you can sell it. Enough of this divide.
So one of the pizzas here had, and this is the one that I was mainly eating, had provolone and mozzarella, bacon, jalapenos, pineapple, and pineapple clumps.
Baby,
it was
what are we doing here? What are we doing here with these pizzas?
It was beautiful. So I'm not a huge fan. So if I have a go-to pizza, it is sausage, Italian sausage, and green peppers.
Sausage.
That's what I like.
Green peps.
I gotta tell you,
freaking masonry worker here.
The jalapenos, which I'm not a huge fan of that on pizza, it needed it.
It does.
It's the spicy and the sweet of the pineapple. It was very smart.
Yep.
I liked it. They did a good job.
Have you been to Tonari?
No. What is that? Where is that?
It's a Japanese Detroit style pizza place. It's like a white food place. It's it's Italian Japanese mix. Place downtown right by the Capital One Arena, and they do a Detroit style pizza with Japanese flour, and they put the spicy pickled jalapenos on top of the pepperonis. And you're like, can I get it without the jalapenos? And then you try it with the jalapenos. You go, I retract my last statement.
Can I go back to Past Me and tell Past Me to shut the fuck up?
Shut the fuck up? Because he was wrong. So you should check it out.
I'll check it out.
Tonari. Tonari.
For the fans out there.
It's not a paid ad.
If it's still around. So that's it.
It is. All right, time to pick. And the rules are, can I pick ourselves? I'll pick Bryan.
Okay. And I'm going to get again in my mind palace here. And I will pick Bryan.
All right, and so Bryan wins with what was he doing last night? Well, I know he wasn't here because Bryan was supposed to come into town, and I spent all my time being jet lagged and sick, cleaning up my place and organizing it so that my good friend of the podcast, Third Mike, could come crash his little head on my nice love sack couch in my living room, my nice big queen bed size love sack couch. It was all made up. Everything was pristine. And then he goes, yeah, I'm driving home.
I missed that conversation. That's very funny.
He goes, yeah, I'm driving home.
And we know that you give good blankets.
Yep. And I said, hey, are you still coming by? He didn't answer. It was midnight. And then I fell asleep.
Yeah.
And I felt bad because I woke up in a panic at like 3 a.m. And I was like, oh, no. My friend was supposed to come over here, and I was just out cold. I reach for my phone, and I look at it. He says, I'm already home. Sorry, I didn't tell you before I left. I left real early. So he broke up my sleep pattern, and I couldn't get back to sleep. Wow. But I'm glad that he won. And if I remember the name of this episode, this is where I would put that transition. So we'll be right back after this.
Poncha.
All right, Reaves. It's season 22. We got a new theme song. It's episode 3. Let's walk through it.
Episode 3. Best served cold. No a dish, just best served cold. Episode 319 overall, 3rd for the season. And of course, our air date is March 27th, 2025.
Almost feels Russian.
Oh, yeah. It's going to get very Russian, which we talked about this last week, Bryan and I, that we should check in and make sure we know how pro-Russia we are based on the episode.
We probably should.
Yeah. And of course, we explained the scale and the meaning behind it. And I'm at a Tolstoy right now. So we open on Shawai talking about how he misses his family. And, buddy, we know what that means.
Classic misdirect, because I was like, he's going home.
Yeah, I'm like,
He's
either
in this episode
he's going to really screw the pooch and get voted off the island, or medevac, cut off a finger, and he's got to get the hell out of there. Turns out, really, this episode is nothing about him. So, interesting little, swerve there to keep us off our game. The chefs enter the Top Chef kitchen, and who is there but our friend Kristen and guest judge Dwight Smith of Toronto.
Thanks, Dwight. Thanks for showing up.
And we jump right into our quickfire challenge. So the chefs had to create.
Let me play the quickfire.
Oh, go for it.
Listen to the quickfire being explained, folks.
Oh,
As for your quickfire challenge, we want you to create your own version of a Jamaican patty. You can fill it with whatever you'd like.
Okay.
Because patties take longer than 30 minutes to make. Feeling just a tad bit generous today.
Hey.
So first you'll get 15 minutes to make your own dough from scratch.
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll take a little lunch break to allow time for your dough to rest. And then afterwards, you'll have 30 minutes to make your patties before time is up. Dwight, any advice?
Most patty shops will offer a little pepper sauce on the side, which is a Jamaican hot sauce. But don't overthink it, chefs.
The winner of this quickfire will take home $10,000.
All right. 10K.
Well. They're just gonna take a leisurely pace to make a dough, then go to fucking lunch, I guess.
Yeah.
And come back.
Is this a union lunch? Because those are longer.
Yeah, that you're talking a couple hours then, and it's paid. I mean, these Top
There's
Chef
nothing quick about this fire. Then
it's a slow burn fire.
Yeah.
And if I'm an old contestant on this show, I'm looking at this and being like, these kids don't know what it was like.
No,
they're taking breaks in between. It's not like how it used to be, baby.
Season 1 through 7, they would have said, you've got 40 minutes. You got 10 extra minutes because it takes long for the dough to set. Get it done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they try and do it, and then it looks like shit, and it tastes probably dangerous. Yeah, makes Tom real sick. Before they get started making their dough, Kristen allows the chefs to feast on some Jamaican patties. And boy, do they look good. Vinny, I noticed this about Vinny.
Yeah.
He looks like either Tim Robinson or someone that should be on I Think You Should Leave.
Mm-hmm.
Just his general face and how he looks. And that's, I guess, a compliment.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's not a put down.
Not an insult.
Definitely not. So they're all...
Vincenzo?
Yes. Vincenzo. So they're all chowing down on their patties. And Kristen's like, hey, are you guys all happy? You're feeling good? Everything nice? Okay, go now cook.
Yeah. It's been a lot of Triple G style quick file challenge starts happening so far this season. Of her like starting and they're not sure that she's starting. And she's like, wow, they didn't even hear me say go. It's like, okay, someone's been watching Triple G.
Yeah.
And TOC.
Very.
Not sure you should be stealing that, though.
Yeah, I think that's kind of Guy's thing.
That's Guy's thing?
So the whole like, yeah, we already started. What are you looking at me for? That's his thing. I know you're like trying to take it, but like maybe just kind of find your own thing.
And I know I hear this so much. People say it all the time. Anything a guy can do, I can do.
Mm-hmm.
I hear that a lot. It's like, are you talking about men or Guy Fieri? Because you can't do what Guy Fieri does.
You can't do what he does.
No one can.
He's basically Superman. And one time I saw a car with a license plate Guy Fieri, and I wondered if it was him driving, and it wasn't. We see Henry beating the shit out of his dough.
Tag and my license plate.
What's that now?
Guy. I should make that my gamer tag or license plate. Guy Fieri 01. Or
I
02
like
or something.
01, 02. Your graduation date.
Yeah.
Class of 04.
Guy Fieri 04.
We see Henry beating the shit out of his dough with a roller. It is aggressive. And it is uncomfortable. And, while he's doing it, he's kind of yelling stuff like, I can't believe you did that to me. Why won't you love me?
Take the trash out.
Yeah. Respond to my text messages.
I know your phone's on you. Respond to my text messages.
The reaction isn't a response. So he's like working through something, I think. Paula writes her name on her dough, which is disgusting. But she doesn't want to lose it. There's no payoff for that, but she just writes her name on her dough. Okay, so time's up. They go back to the kitchen. They take a lunch break or whatever. We see none of this. We see a nice transition, kind of Great Bake Show-esque of like, very soft music and shots of the kitchen. We see a clock going real crazy fast.
Yeah.
It was a digital clock. I would have liked to see a nice, some hands moving really
nice
fast.
Analog. Show me. Don't tell me.
Yeah, that's storytelling 101. Now time's up. Get back in the kitchen. Go nuts. Chefs cook now. Massimo, the brilliant genius that is Massimo, decides he is going to grind oxtail for the first time in his life. Yeah.
Genius.
He's never done it before, but he's like, I'm feeling good. Yeah. I'm just gonna try it.
perfect time to do this is in a high stakes cooking environment.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's kind of like, the best practice is actually doing. And so in this doing, he's going to learn a lot. Let's just say that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he does a lot of learning this episode.
Oh, yeah.
Anya is over near the stove. She's talking to Henry, and she's like over, like sticking her nose over his pan, sniffing it, going, "Wow,
that smells
good. That smells so good."
Spices in there because they're starting to build.
And then she chokes immediately.
Mm-hmm. Coughs all over his food.
Coughs all over it. Coughs in it. Spits in the dish. And I feel like that's just really bad sportsmanship.
Yeah, because water notoriously, makes flavors be muddled. So she's adding stuff that's going to fuck with the flavors of his dish. And it's like, if you're going to add water to a dish, add it to your own, Anya. Right?
Yeah, listen, there's a lot of stuff she's got to add to her dishes that she messes up on. So, time's up. Judging.
Ding.
And the truth is, we get a nice shot, as we always do, of the dishes. None of these doughs look right to me. And I don't think it's their fault, but we get...
I just think they're not Jamaican, and so that's the issue they're having.
Yeah. I mean, that is really the truth. It's like they've never really done it before, right? So, yeah. I mean, dough is very hard to get the exact consistency. I mean, there's just so many chemical elements to it that you can get a little bit off, and then it's like, oh, this is nothing like what the Jamaican patty is supposed to look like.
Here's my thing. I get what they're doing here, where you're trying to incorporate, and they maybe didn't get the memo that this kind of stuff is over, but they're trying to incorporate, local fare that might be a place that traditionally you wouldn't go to in Canada for, right? You maybe wouldn't be looking for the Jamaican meat patty place, right? But when you do this, the traditional eaters of this food are going to see this and go, what the fuck am I looking at?
This makes me sad how you did my food.
Fucking butchering this. And they're going to make people think that Jamaican meat patties aren't good. But they are.
Yeah. I guess the upshot is they showed the good ones in the beginning.
Yeah, they did. And is that enough? I don't know. And also, don't pick oxtail just because you heard the word Jamaican. All right? They eat other things. All right?
Yeah. People were telling him, they're like, please don't do oxtail. He's like, I think I have to.
I mean, I'm surprised someone didn't come out, and maybe I missed it. I'm surprised someone didn't say, I'm making jerk chicken Jamaican patty.
I think I did see recent Oscar winner Adrian Brody came out and did his accent again.
Okay.
And I think they really did miss a trick not having him in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would have been brutal.
Well, it would have been great timing, great synergy. I mean, I don't know why people won't capitalize on things like that. So, judging here, on top, Katiana, her patty was flavorful, had good balance. Zubar, his combo of sauces was creative. Shwai did a scallion pancake. Bridge the gap between that and a patty. So good job.
Yeah.
And then on the bottom, a series of chefs who had real fucked up dough. Kat's dough fucked up as hell. Awful. Massimo's looked like a goddamn cookie.
Awful.
And Cesar, I mean, it looked like a pie crust in a cup. It was gross. It was falling apart. I mean, he apologized for it too. He was like, listen, I was in the weeds.
Yeah. I think in the B-roll, he said, I don't know, I wasn't feeling irie about this. You know what I mean?
And our winner, Katiana, with her toasted nori and sesame patty with sweet potato and roasted kimchi. It looked great.
Now, is it problematic if I say...
I'm going to say yes before you even say it.
All right, I'll just stop.
But I do still want to hear it.
I was gonna say, I just feel like I'm every time I look at her name, I say it in my head, Katana, and I don't want to. But she is slicing up the competition. But I don't want to say that. I also am presuming that's happened before in her life.
Probably that wasn't problematic.
We've all been kids. Okay.
It's
We've all
easy
been
to get
kids
people's
before.
names
Kids
wrong.
are cruel.
Yeah,
And
kids
so
are cruel.
I keep looking at it and want to say Katana, but it's Katiana.
And we're early doors, so
Mhm.
I am saying everyone's name wrong all the time.
Yeah.
And it probably won't be until after Restaurant Wars that I really know everyone's name correctly.
I mean, I just call Lester Black Guy. You know?
Yeah. Lester.
Is that his name, Lester?
So I'm looking through the cast list. I do
Oh,
not see a Lester, but I'm
don't
sure that could be on me. There probably is one.
Well, you don't see Lesters, right?
That's true. Not anymore.
Notoriously.
Yeah, I had to
Tristan,
for a while. And
I'm
now I don't
sorry,
have to.
not Lester, Tristan.
Yeah,
Classic
Tristan.
mistake. I should start calling him Black Tristan. And I can say that
Yes, I can't.
because I'm mixed.
And what happens next? In comes the biggest Canadian hockey player of all time, Natalie Spooner.
Natalie Spooner.
It is cool that they got a female hockey league that's like very popular there. It's cool. I'd watch that.
Yep.
So the elimination challenge here, in a tribute to hockey, because everything has to be a tribute to Canada here.
Keep it cold.
The chefs are asked to create a dish best served cold. So a cold dish.
Yeah. And then Black what's his name again?
Dwight Smith.
Black Dwight Smith said, "You can't serve revenge," and people died laughing. They're like,
People are losing their shit about it. So, prior to the cook, speaking of laughing, we get a whole series of very forced laughter in this piece here, where the contestants have to choose from one of 7 dishes that are concealed, containing ingredients that are associated with hockey terms or slang words that they are required to work into the dish. So basically, they don't see an ingredient. There's some kind of riddle on it, essentially, hockey riddle, and they have to kind of guess what it is. And basically, no one knows what anything is, so it's just all guesswork.
You want me to play this clip?
Yeah, so
Is this the muffin clip?
Yeah, you know what? So one of the items that they get here is muffin. Massimo gets it. And Massimo has a little bit of history with muffins.
Particularly like muffins. I can't remember the last time I ate a muffin. Muffin is actually the word I use in the restaurant when I'm trying to avoid swear word. Oh, muffin. All right.
Now, you might be thinking, Massimo, you did say muffin, yes. But you did still say the bad word.
Yeah.
But that would be low-hanging fruit, and we don't do that here on Pod Chef.
He's also not in his restaurant.
Exactly. So if you're really listening to that clip, you can hear him say, a word I use to avoid a swear word. So it's 1. Okay, so he might have meant to say, he said, here's my motherfucking muffin. It was bleeped. Mm-hmm. But what he wanted to say was something far worse.
Yeah.
Which was, it's my motherfucking jizz crust. And so they opted.
Bryan, can you put horns on that?
Please put a horn. They offered. They opted to censor that, and I think it was the right choice.
Yeah.
Because you can't censor both words. And he did say a word, not multiple words. So, that's Massimo.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout this whole debacle, the hockey player has to explain all these like cliches. I did know the biscuit, like I've heard about that. Biscuit is a puck. I heard that. It's the chefs have to like enthusiastically react and like
that's interesting.
See a series.
Lee
of that.
Boring.
Fucking destroyed them. So yeah, we have a biscuit, we have an apple, we got a muffin, we got egg. I mean, egg seems great. Grapefruit, licorice knob, peanut butter. So some slightly different. I mean, licorice is maybe a little bit hard here ingredients, but more or less these are pretty. And muffin is probably a little hard. these aren't too bad ingredients to use. It's the cold part of the dish of the challenge that's difficult here.
I also didn't like the dining area where they made that small little ice rink.
Yes.
Not a
So,
fan.
Instead of going out, they build a hockey rink in the middle of the kitchen. They force the chefs to go play around on it while they would much rather be prepping their food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's cute, but it's also like completely unneeded. So the chefs head to Whole Foods. They get all of their seasoning.
We're back at Whole Foods.
Yeah, we're back at Whole Foods. It's
Ban's
all good.
Lifted.
Yep. The lawsuit's been thrown out. Everyone's happy now. Everyone's paid and respected. So we can talk about it. So we learned that cold foods are hard to prep because of the seasoning. It's hard to get the seasoning in there.
That's why it's usually citrus, acid,
Yeah. Ceviche kind of stuff.
You can't really cold spice something.
Yeah, because it's not gonna. I mean, I'm not a chemist here, but it's just not gonna like blend into the food. It's just gonna kind of sit on top of it.
On top.
But yeah, to your point, yeah, I think acids work well. That's why a ceviche works, and I think some people try to do ceviche here to varying degrees of success.
They put the peppers in. I remember that. That was a good choice.
Mm-hmm.
Put those Scotch bonnets in there.
Yeah,
looked like he was just putting seeds in there too.
Oh yeah, just big seeds. Make everyone's
gigantic.
God, I could go for that right now. Make my nose run. That'd be nice.
It's cold, but it's hot.
Anya has a lot of issues this episode, as do many people with consistency. She tells us when she thinks of cold and eggs, she thinks of ice cream and cake and pine needles.
And why does she think of those three things again?
Because cold and eggs equal ice cream, cake, pine needles. This woman, she seems great. She seems very lovely.
Yeah.
But she is obsessed with making people eat the forest and eat dirt and trees.
What's happening in Russia?
I don't know. I mean, in my mind, it's like you go to a restaurant in Russia, they just take you to a field and they say, just have at it. They take you into the forest and they're like, just go eat whatever you want. Pay me $500 and there you go.
Well,
she has a lot of problems with her cook. So she's making a cake and ice cream. Her cake
my
mix
restaurant stayed open. Yeah. Your ingredients are everywhere.
Yeah. Your
outside.
Overhead is so low. You just go into your backyard every day and you're like, I've got enough for everything.
Yeah. Pretty easy when the customers just park and then they're eating.
It's all profit. So yeah, her cake that she makes is like a hockey puck thick, doesn't work.
No.
And her ice cream is like way too hard too.
It's a brick.
It's a brick. And so next day, she basically has to remake everything. She does this thing where she refluffs. She doesn't like how there's a lack of fluffiness to her ice cream. So she refluffs it, but then, it becomes liquid. It becomes liquid and she can't freeze it.
Probably because some kind of reaction happened with the sugar and whatnot. The crystals probably melted. And then they couldn't be reabsorbed to make that crystallized pattern which holds it together.
Holy shit.
And so it turned into basically a soft serve yogurt that would not reach freezing temperature again.
Holy shit. Jamal, wake up. Oh.
Shit.
Dude.
Sorry.
You passed out. And then you started explaining in great detail the science behind ice cream. I'm assuming correctly.
Not again.
Yeah.
Not again. Oh, God. I got to talk to the doctor.
You're some kind of sleep genius.
Oh, I got to talk to the doctor. He said because I don't eat enough sweets, I'm going to start dreaming about them. He said I got to have a cheat day.
It's such a specific way to dream about them. Like most people, I imagine it's just you're thinking about a sundae or cupcakes, and for you, it's you're explaining the science behind making ice cream and things like that.
Yeah. Not me. I fell asleep the other day, so I woke me up and said, Jamal, you were talking about why you don't want to put too much light brown sugar into a cookie mixture because it'll make it too soft. And I was like, no, I wasn't. They're like, yeah, it was. You said that the proper cookie mixture, if you want to make it soft but still have structure, is only 1/4 of brown sugar cut into the granulated sugar recipe. And not a half.
Only Bryan had stayed at your house, he could have heard.
Would have known. Yeah.
He would have known some of these things, and so his cookies.
Here's another thing. Tasty. I was sick. I was, I'm not 100%, but I did order the special cheese to make Bryan a pizza.
Oh my goodness!
And he didn't even come.
Oh my goodness!
It didn't even come. I was gonna make him a very fancy, spicy cheese Detroit style pizza. He didn't even come.
And Bryan, I know you're listening to this now.
Yeah, I know you're listening.
I want to remind you, how are you doing? So, back at the kitchen, next day, the chefs come back. We talked about how they are forced to do an ice skating thing against their will by the producers. And we see our first wipeout of the season. And it's not on the ice. It is Massimo. He trips. It is fun. I mean, listen, I don't want to see anyone get hurt. That's me.
No, me neither.
But there's nothing funnier than watching someone trip and fall down.
Yeah.
It always works on me.
The minute I find out that you're fine.
I like that he tripped and fell down kind of in an isolation near his station and then immediately asked if everyone else was okay.
Yeah.
Just looking around.
Okay.
Everyone, you guys all okay? And it's like they couldn't be further away from him at the time. Yeah. It's like, no, this happened just to you. But I like that as a move to be like, wow, we all fell, right?
Yeah. That's almost like what a cat does when it falls off the counter or something.
Yeah.
And it looks at you like, oh my God, we all fell, huh? Wow, that was embarrassing for everyone.
We all did that together? That's pretty crazy.
Wow.
I guess we're just going to pretend like that never happened.
Well, I'm going to go over here now.
Yeah. And some soap goes into his butter, Massimo's butter, so it's all fucked up.
Yep.
And it does end up messing up his ice cream too. Another ice cream problem where he's got liquid, gross ice cream.
This is the problem with things outside of cooking. Baking and these other things, there's the actual science. So like the minute you introduce something new and change the formula, you still got to make sure all those compounds work together. Because if they don't, as we find out later in the episode by Tom's brilliant mind, you introduce something that you're like, I'm trying to force this from Russia. You're like, but do the ingredients work? Because there might be a caking agent in there that's going to make the whole cake way too hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to make sure all these things work together. You can kind of improvise with cooking because fire is going to change everything anyways.
Yeah. And you can also just lie about what you're trying to do. This is basically what Tom says to Massimo when he's like, oh, yeah, I tried to use liquid nitrogen. I couldn't. It's liquid. Sorry. Tom's like, if you had one brain cell in your dumb fucking brain,
fucking head,
inside that skull of yours, that thick skull, you would say it was a creme anglaise. Okay.
But
and we
didn't.
Would all be like, okay, but you didn't say that, did you? So now I got to give you an F.
Yeah. So fucking sit there with your hands crossed.
Yeah. At least lie to me about it.
Yeah. And know that I cooked your ass.
Lots of people are doing stuff with daikon. I feel like daikon comes up like 4 or 5 times here.
Daikon's making a comeback.
Daikon's in season. So there's quite a few ice creams here.
There's creams. There's not a lot of ice creams.
That's right. There's
a lot of ice with them.
Yeah, and you know what? We should talk about this, that the consistency and the color of these ice creams, I think, are offensive. And I think they should have censored them because they were deeply disturbing to look at.
I mean, spooning them onto a plate, I was like, is this a mother sauce? I thought we were making ice creams.
Yeah.
Is this a bechamel? What the hell is this?
That's for our chef.
As you can tell, I am sick. You can tell I'm sick.
So sick. He just keeps going in and out of consciousness. So just going through a couple of dishes here. We have a scallop and apple aqua chile that Corwin does. Shuai does a sweet corn semifredo with a bunch of sweet stuff on it. It looked pretty good. Who did someone did 4 things in one. Was it Tristan? Yes.
Yeah.
Tristan. Yeah. Tristan did
eggs 4 ways.
That's right. Eggs 4 ways. A beef tartare with eggs 4 ways. And then there's like a devil egg filling. That all looked really good. I feel like he's someone that's really, really talented and wants to constantly show like all his different things he can do. Yeah.
Black Tristan. Bald Tristan.
That's right. And I won't be saying that. Cesar does I think he did a pickled shrimp. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Lana does a chilled peanut soup with a pickled shrimp. And apparently didn't have enough peanut in it. But people were like, pickled shrimp. That's great. I've never had a pickled shrimp before. That sounds exciting.
I sure have not. I've never even seen a shrimp that was in a pickle and needed my help.
I'm so okay sick. In there, shrimp?
I'm so sick.
I've never really thought of food as like, does that thing need my help?
Yeah.
I mean, when I think about it, I like a pickle. If I look at a pickle jar, what I'm thinking is, I think that pickle needs help me eating it.
Yeah.
That's the help I can give it.
Pulling it out.
Chomp.
Let me help you. Let me get you out of this pickle.
There's a thunderstorm going on. My sous chef's very upset. Judges table here. On top, we got, as we mentioned, Tristan, Corwin, and Katiana, who did licorice. She had a licorice knob, and she did a chilled chicken soba with cucumber and daikon. So a nice broth.
I'm surprised Viacom allowed them to say licorice knob on the show.
There's a lot of extremely aggressive, subtle sexual undertones.
Yeah. And all of them got cleared.
Yeah. All of them got cleared, but they're lingering on them, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're really like dancing on the word knob when they say that.
Exactly.
The mentioned, liquidy ice cream, really long shots of that in a way, again, that made me feel uncomfortable and I thought should have been censored.
I agree.
So it was very clear that Katiana's dish, like Kristen was a big fan of it. It's very hard to do a broth that has a lot of different flavors to it and the amount of time they had, and she killed it. So our winner here is Katiana. Good for you.
Yeah.
Telling you. I mean, maybe I'm wrong because I did look at that trailer and she's barely in it, but she's got winner written all over her.
Well, she won both challenges in this one episode, so it's like
that's
usually a sign of someone who's good.
Yeah. People that are not good in this episode, Anya, Paula, and Massimo. So our 2 ice cream fatalities. And
fatality.
Paula, who did a ceviche, who let's just say what we saw. The fish was raw.
Yeah.
The sable fish. It was not good. And then also she mentions this because they had a problem with the ceviche, that it was too soupy. But she mentions in Ecuador, I guess that's supposed to be more.
That's how they do it.
They do it, which is news to me. But,
I will go to Ecuador and I'll find out.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to do our own investigation. Actually, we're going to do our own research. We're not going to trust you.
Yeah, we're actually starting an internal investigation, and we'll let you know our findings. Flies to Ecuador on the company's dime.
Yeah. $7 million later.
Yeah.
What does your research say? Inconclusive. We couldn't.
Inconclusive. We have to go.
Kind of the research is all over the place. We got lost. In Ecuador.
Actually, I got to go to Chile because apparently it's Chilean sea bass.
Yeah.
So we have to go to Chile.
We were a little confused with the ask. So we went to some different countries and did some research, and then we went back to Ecuador. We did get lost there for quite a bit there. We didn't end up having ceviche at all. We came back and we tried to kind of put the report together. It didn't really make sense. So
we had to go back. So inconclusive.
And so ultimately, I mean, we kind of know what was going to happen here. Anya, for her egg pine needle ice cream and her buckthorn cake, is eliminated.
Das verdeutscht. Did I say that right? I don't know.
Anya, Please pack your knives and go.
Anya, we'll see you in Last Chance Kitchen. So you have a chance to cook, you can make that pivot and make it right.
Thank you.
We'll see you there. Thank you.
Thank you all. Even though I expected it, I feel stunned and heartbroken. This was my one and only chance to be on Top Chef and tell my story. It's me today. Oh. No. I was able to show Russian cuisine as something soulful, as something that has a heart. This journey was for a good reason.
Tonight.
Did she show it as soulful? Is Russian cuisine soul food like?
And maybe this is like a language thing. I don't know if soulful means the same thing to us here that it maybe means to her in Russia.
Okay. So there probably just means actually prepared by a human.
Yes.
Okay.
One who has a soul.
Yeah, one who has a soul. Yeah, then done.
Yes.
Check that box. Did she win Last Chance Kitchen, Reaves?
Let's talk about Last Chance Kitchen. Redemption on ice. So right out of the gate, ready for TV, Sam quits.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it is kind of, I have no idea how much they planned it because they were.
Hold on a second. I didn't watch it. What happened?
Okay. So, let me paint a picture for you here. Okay?
Yeah, but hold on a second. Tell me.
Out comes Ready for TV Sam.
Yeah, I've heard about this guy.
As well as our friend Bailey. In comes Anya. Theme music hits. She comes in. Tom sets the scene. He's like, all right, we're doing our ice hockey themed challenge. The one where it's like, there's no time limit. You just come and bring me dishes. And the first one to get 3 that I like work. I give goals. You got your faces. He brings out a board. It's got everyone's face on it. He's going to do that. And then Ready for TV Sam says, hold on 1 minute. I got to quit this show. I got to hold on real quick. I got to quit this show and I don't want to do it anymore.
He gave a quick fire challenge.
Yes.
In Last Chance Kitchen. How did Tom react? Did he just go, okay, bye?
Tom was completely put on the spot.
Wow.
You could tell that maybe the producers would have liked Tom to maybe give a speech about mental health and how looking after yourself, and if things are too stressful or there's too much pressure, you shouldn't need to do that for yourself, and you respect his decision. I don't think Tom really said anything like that other than just like, okay, that's fine. And then you see Tom, he's just kind of like, okay, let me.
How do I get another chef in here? Because
this
was a 3-person thing.
Out because it was kind of like you could see we did the board,
and so everyone's name. I can't just take one name off. That'd be stupid.
Your name is on the board.
You're
and
here.
Your face.
And so is your face.
So he's pacing back and forth, talking to himself. He's like,
wow.
Should I have the clock? No clock. What am I going to do with this face? Should I eat the face off the board? Maybe I make them cook.
And I assume like background music is playing, like that tense background music is playing while we're seeing this. Yeah.
And he's just rubbing his head. He can't figure it out. And then he just is like, okay. He's like, well, now there's a clock. You got 45 minutes. Same challenge. Bailey, and then he points. He's like, you, Bailey, you and Anya, you guys are just gonna do the cook, and you got 45 minutes because I gotta get out of here because this really upset me. And so the ladies get cooking.
That makes sense.
Anya's first dish, she does a cauliflower soup. It's a goal.
Did Sam just completely leave the studio?
Yeah, he walks out.
That's fascinating.
So like,
I need to watch this now.
It really was like, I guess the breadcrumb of reason he says it was too much pressure for him, and just I think the show wasn't for him, which is perfectly fine.
Too much pressure for him, but you guys said he was built for TV. I need to go watch the whole thing now.
I can't stress enough. He is ready for TV. He is.
What if he got a deal?
Yeah, you know what?
Filming.
I think you're right.
He got a better gig mid filming, and they were like, "This kid's too good to just be wasting on this show."
And I think he's probably the next Jack Sparrow. I think that's what it is.
Nice.
So Anya has one good dish, and the rest are terrible. Bailey scores all of hers, so she ends up winning. One of the dishes that Anya does is halibut with cauliflower. Tom is so upset that this fish is raw. He's like walking around showing everyone. He's showing the eliminated judge or chefs who are really completely unenthusiastic. They don't want to be there. He's showing them. He's like, look, it's raw. It's raw.
It's raw.
It's like showing.
Would you eat it?
The crew. He's like, this thing's. I'm not gonna eat that. I don't eat raw fish. Gross. I'm not gonna do that. I don't think it was meant to be. And then there's also one point where, the last thing she does is scallop with citrus sauce. And Tom is muttering to himself how terrible it is and that it tastes like orange juice. I think he says the word, "This is terrible." It's like, it tastes like orange juice. Oh, wow. So he was not happy. I think that it really threw him off his game and he was ready to get the hell out of there. But in the end, Anya eats it. Bailey's still through. It's a good one to watch.
Now, I presume Sam would have won, and
probably,
they would have kept their golden child going, much like Sue last season, and probably brought him into the actual show. But if you're the other person, Bailey, are you like thinking now, if you weren't religious, are you now religious? Because you're like, this is not just coincidence. Some higher power wants me in this competition. I know I was eliminated, but some higher power is acting on my behalf to not only get rid of made-for-TV Sam, but then put me, an American, up against a Russian on ice. And we have the great competition again.
Yes.
And we pulled out a miracle.
And, recent times, she also did kind of beat the Canadian guy by default. So that's also good.
Wow.
So, where are they now? Anya, hopefully I'm getting this right. Water, I think. Watar? I don't know. She's an executive chef and owner of Birch and Rye. She talked about this just a ton on the show. It's a Russian modern restaurant in San Francisco. She does have go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say the Voltaggio brothers had their place called Thatcher and Rye.
Yeah, it's very similar. I was like, where have I heard that before? And I was like, oh yeah, the Volt brothers.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing of note with her, she does have a personal website, and say it with me, fans, it is not working.
Yep.
It does say, to her credit, new website coming soon, but she does have a link to that on her Instagram.
Someone has the domain rights, though. That's all you need.
You could send her an email. Her email's
my website's still working. I just tested it.
Okay, good.
Fucking handsome ass motherfucker. Fucking handsome.
Ready for TV Jamal. So that's it.
Fucking ready for TV Jamal.
We did the episode.
Okay. We did it. We could have taken a sick day today.
Yeah.
But we both said, no. We made a commitment. We're not going to buy a ticket to a hockey game knowing that, this is the possibility during a new season of Top Chef that we might need to record on an off day. So we made that decision, and, we're here. We're doing it. We're doing the work. We're doing the effort.
This is what we want to put out there to everyone is like, if you're feeling sick, you should still go into the office.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. The most important thing is that you do your job and that you're around people while you're sick.
And that you return to work. Okay?
Yes. It's very, very important.
Return to work. Working is what makes us good. And so until next time, we're going to pack our knives and go.
This is fun. Absolutely. This is great, guys. You guys got something here. This is fun.
Thank you guys so much. I really, really appreciate it. And, y'all got a new fan. I love it. Love hearing you guys' commentary. So.
Okay, you might make the outro with that.
Yeah, clip it.
Hey, boys. Got your messages. I'm at the game. I think I told you guys, I got hockey seats, got great seats right on the glass. It's a lot of good action here, just really getting in the game. Thank you guys both for checking in. I do think it's super important that we check in with each other. I'm doing good. Yeah, everything's good. Like I said, at a hockey game. Something's happening. Hold on. Oh, wait. Okay, hold on. Yeah, okay. Play stops. Okay. Yeah. No, you shut the fuck up. No, I can be on the fucking... Shut the fuck up. I don't realize when I check on my friends, they're trying to shut me up. Yeah, so, like... Yeah, sorry I had to miss. I should have kept my entire week open in case we had to reschedule. Oh. But, yeah, see you guys next week, right? Because you'll both be there next week, right? We're all going to be 3 of us in next week. Like, Reaves isn't missing the next 2 weeks or anything, right? I don't think so. Okay. I love you both. Bye.